River Podcast.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. I've got John here to go through everything Celtic, everything that's been happening in the news over the last few days. I've got a big preview build-up. Hibs coming to Celtic Park to play Celtic in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. John, can't wait. It's going to be some game. Just a few hours away, John. Can't wait.
Time drags in. See when you're waiting for Celtic games, the time totally drags in. I can't wait, Sander. I can't wait to see the Hibs fans, 6,000 of them at Celtic Park. That'll be good to see. Be good to see a half-decent crowd at Celtic Park for the first time in quite a few years there.
Yeah, that's it, John. I can't wait to see that myself. But, when you have 8 days between games, John, it does drag in. It's a long time to wait for your next game. So there will be plenty of rest in the Celtic players' legs. And the Hibs players, for that matter, I suppose. They've not played in 7 days, so yeah, plenty of rest for the Hibs boys as well. Okay, let's do a competition this week, John. I've not done one for a wee while. Just the usual, correct score, and I want to see plenty of entries, folks. So get entering into the competition this week. Correct score, Celtic versus Hibs. That's what we're looking for, the correct score. Nothing else. One guess each into the comments, folks. I want to see plenty of entries. We want to continue the competition, so don't be shy, get your entries into the comments there, and the winner will receive a metal wall plaque of a Celtic legend, whether it's a stadium, a player, a manager, whatever it is. The wall plaques are all there, ready to be posted out. So folks, get your guesses into the comments and good luck with the competition, John, because we want to see more than a few entries, don't we? Because it's been really poor the last few times we've done it, maybe 20 entries at the most on YouTube. I'm not going to put this one on Facebook, folks. I'm just going to keep it to YouTube to see how we get on. So the more people that enter, the merrier, John.
Aye. We've not done a competition for a few weeks there. It'd be good to see people entering it on YouTube. I think that's the platform where you should be putting the competition. You kind of restrict it to YouTube. That way you can keep an eye on everything just in the one place instead of, wandering everywhere, looking on Facebook, hundreds of entries and all that stuff. I think it's the right decision. Just keep it on YouTube. Yeah,
we'll start building up again, John, and it's starting with the Hibs game. As you say, when you go over to Facebook, you're also having to go into Messenger and Instagram and check all these places as well, because they're all linked to Facebook, and it makes it a bit of a task, to be honest with you. So keep it to YouTube just now, folks. And good luck everybody with that. Okay, one more wee bit of housekeeping. If you can hit that subscribe button, that would be appreciated. Hit the subscribe. They're flying just now, John. We're almost at that magical 4,000. I think we're only 80 away from the 4,000. What a great result for us that is, John, getting to 4,000. Didn't think we'd ever see that 4,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I know there's 6,000 over on Facebook, but YouTube's a different story. So if we can get that up to 4,000, folks, that would be appreciated. So hit that subscribe button as well. Right, John, let's get into it then. I want to start with a wee bit of sad news. The Rangers supporter that died over in Turkey, John, following his club. He got knocked down, tried to cross the roads. Christopher Potter, young man that died. Rest in peace to Christopher. Absolute tragedy. I mean, I think this boy got hit with 2 cars, John. I don't want to really go into too graphic, but, a total travesty for this boy's family, John. Rest in peace to Christopher Potter, and condolences to his family, John.
Aye, absolutely, aye. You don't expect, your brother, your son or whatever to go to a game and no come back again. It's sad. It's very sad. So I can only say condolences to Christopher's family. It's an absolute tragedy, that, isn't it? Any football fan that goes to a game and doesn't return. Aye, rest in peace, Christopher. Really sad news. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's it. And a nice touch for Jack Burton yesterday. I think I've seen the pictures. He's pointing to his black armband at the final whistle. So he dedicated their win to the boy that died, John. I know we have a laugh and a joke with Rangers, you know, and we have a wee bit of fun and we have our rivalries, but when it comes to things like that, nobody wants to see it. So rest in peace, as you say, John, to Christopher Potter. Okay, John, let's move on. Let's get to the football, because that's what we're here for. We're here for the big preview, John. I can't wait. As I say, it's been 8 days. It's a long time. We've got a team that's flying. No Dyson Meader flying defence. You know, playing really well. We've got big Cameron Carter-Vickers solid at the back. We've got Alistair Johnston flying as well. Callum McGregor scoring barrels of goals from outside the box. Jota's back at the club. You know, the team and the club is in a good place just now. It's brilliant to see. We've also had Dyson Meader winning Player of the Month for February. Totally deserved for Dyson, John. He's just been out of this world over the last couple of months.
Aye, of course, it's well deserved. Aye, I think the Hibs manager won Manager of the Month last month as well.
Yeah,
David Gray, he's been doing fantastic, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has a good manager, John. He had a very, very tough start at Hibs, but they stuck with him. Now they're reaping the rewards, John. So that well done to the Hibs as well for that. You know, sticking with a manager. Because they are doing really well. They really are. You know, third in the league, into the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. Obviously, we hope that's where it stops for David Gray, John, because we want to get into that semi-final, don't we? That's the main priority, the main part of the treble. So 190 minutes at a time. That's the only way we can look at it, John, this next 90 minutes against Hibs. But yeah, well done to David Gray, John. He's got them flying. But as I said on the last podcast, John, I think we're going to be too strong for Hibs come the 90 minutes. Whether we look at the odds as regards to how strong we actually are. In fact, let's do that just now. Celtic 1-4, 5-1 the draw, and 12-1 Hibs to win, John. Now, I make that the exact same odds as what the teams were at Easter Road. So basically, the bookmakers have brought the odds right down for Hibs coming to Celtic Park, John, which is no surprise, is it really, with the form that they're on? So the exact same odds as Easter Road, John. What do you make of that?
Exact same odds. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's the same odds as Celtic Park. It's very, very strange that anybody that's experiencing a breakup on the internet connection, it's at my side. If you hear any interference, apologies for that, because I've had really bad internet problems. But anyway,
yeah.
It's strange that it's the same odds at Celtic Park as it was at Easter Road. I find that very, very strange. Although you've got to take into account the form that Hibs are on. They're absolutely flying. But the thing is about form like that, it's got to end sometimes, Ander. And there's no time like the present, in my opinion.
That's it, John. Celtic Park on a nice sunny Sunday afternoon, John. That's this is where Celtic normally pick up the pace, isn't it? You know, and coming into spring, you know. And in March now, we're well into March now, John. Celtic normally pick up the pace round about now, and we're looking for that to happen against Hibs. And we always say as well, John, an early goal really does settle our team down, doesn't it? You know, once we score an early goal, especially at Celtic Park, John, there's normally only one winner.
Normally. At Celtic Park's a happy hunting ground for Celtic, so we're pretty good at Celtic Park right now. So there's going to be 60,000 fans there. It's a full house. I don't think Hibs sold out their 7,000 allocation right enough, so there might be a few empty seats there. But at Celtic Park, it's Glasgow Celtic. Celtic's going to have a full strength team out. And to me, there should only be one winner there, Sander, no matter how much good form Hibs are on. One winner only.
Yeah, okay. As I say, John, I've had that 8 days rest, so that's going to benefit us. For these players that have been choking for a rest all season, you know, 3 games a week for the last few months. So yeah, that's going to help us, I think. Because every other team in the league have had those, you know, extra days rest, John, where Celtic haven't. So, you know, that's just the price you need to pay, I suppose, for being a successful football club, isn't it? The game's on Premier Sports, John, Premier Sports 1 for anybody that can't make it to Paradise. The game's on TV as well. It's also on Celtic TV for anybody that can get that. Nick Walsh, he is the referee for this one. Nick, he's not too bad a referee, I suppose. Nick, he's in the middle with Kevin Clancy on the VAR. So that's your officials for the game as well. And what I wanted to do, John, before we actually get into the teams and the lineups and the injuries and all that sort of stuff, is I wanted to quickly run through the fixtures Celtic have got left before the split, right? So let's quickly run through this. Obviously, we've got Hibs on Sunday at home. Then on the 16th, we've got Rangers at home also on a Sunday. That's a week on Sunday, another home game. Then we've got a third home game in a row, John. This is unheard of stuff here. Hearts on the 29th at home, which I would rather look at to add up to there have been a week's gap there, John, a couple of weeks gap. So I take it there's an international break between the 16th and the 29th.
Is it no maybe the semi-finals, Sander? I'm not sure. I've no heard about any international breaks coming up. The competitions are all done, so I don't think there is an international break. I'm not actually sure because I've not looked that far ahead. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the semi-finals. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's no the semis, John, because on the 6th of April, we've got St Johnstone away. Then on the 12th of April, we've got Kilmarnock at home, and then it's the split. But the weekend after Kilmarnock at home, John, is the semi-final weekend, which is the 19th of April. So between the 16th and the 29th, I've got a funny feeling, John, there's an international break there. I'll check that before we finish today, John, but I think there's an international break. So that's the next 5 or 6 games for Celtic. Obviously, the semi-final on the 19th of April, John, we need to get there first, obviously. I'm not saying that we're going to be there. I'm just letting you know what the dates are coming up. So I'll check that out, John, in a wee minute.
Well, you're right enough. I'm just checking it, Xander. Nations League, Greece versus Scotland on Thursday the 20th of March. And Scotland against Greece on the 23rd of March.
Okay. Yeah, cheers for that, John. Yeah, that's it. So that's it. That's your fixtures, folks, up until the split. You know, that's unheard of, isn't it, John? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 games at home and 1 away before the split. That's just good news.
It gives us time to wrap that league up. I never knew about an international break. I thought that was all done, but there you go. It's Greece. I'll be watching that one, of course. I don't think.
Is that a double header against Greece, John? Is that a double?
Aye. It is. It's the 20th and then the 23rd.
Right, okay. Yeah, I knew there was a gap there. I didn't know there was an international break myself. Normally you hear on the news or online or whatever that there's an international break, but I've not read anything, so that's news to me. Scotland have got an international break on the 20th. Right, okay, fair enough. Right, John, back to the Hibs game. Let's get right into it then. The big Hibs preview. Let's do it. Let's get into this. Right, John Trusty, he is out for this one, unfortunately. The big man picked up his knock, didn't he, against St Mirren? So he is out. We did say that on the last podcast he would be out, and he is, but he should be okay to return against the Rangers, John. So that's that must have been some head knock that he took.
He must have been concussed. That's why he's having to miss this one. I know his head was split open. And like I says, why that guy wasn't red carded for that, it wasn't even yellow carded. He just walked away, leaned with the elbow, right in with the elbow to the head, and nothing was done about that. It's sickening, that kind of clash, you know. It wasn't a head knock. The St Mirren player's walking away as if his head's been hurt. It was nowhere near his head. It was his elbow that contacted with Big Trusty, but we'll miss him.
Of course we'll miss him, John. But Big Scales will step in, no doubt. Because unless he wants to put Schlupp in there, I fear he can play it centre back as well. But yeah, I think it'll be Big Scales will step in there. We'll get to our predicted starting the lineup. Starting the 11, John. We'll get to that starting 11 very soon. But the big man, he's out anyway, so I suppose it gives him a bit of a rest before the Glasgow derby. James Forrest, John, another wee word on him. I've spoken about him over the last few weeks. First of all, we wanted to know where he was. Then we find out that he's back in training. Eventually, we had to find that out ourselves because none of these people that get to talk to Celtic and these podcasters were asking the questions that people wanted to know the answers to, John. So, Jamesy Forrest has been back in training now for nearly 3 weeks, John. Where is he?
Maybe it's just his fitness levels aren't good enough yet or something. I don't know, but it'd be really good to see Jamesy back. It'd be really good to see him back. That gives you a lot of options on the wings, you know. Jamesy Forrest can play on the left or the right as well, so it'd be great to see him back. But I don't know where he is. He's obviously taking his time to recover.
Yeah, that's a long time, isn't it, John? That's 9 weeks now if he picked up his injury. So, as you say, age going against him there, I think. It's the only thing I can think of anyway. I don't know. Maybe we'll see him on the bench against Hibs. But as it stands, he's out of this one anyway, John. And obviously, Bernardo, who was going to be out for the 5 weeks, this is the 4th week of his injury. So hopefully we'll see Bernardo after the Glasgow derby. Right, John, that's it for Celtic. Let's have a wee look at Hibs. They've got a couple out. They're more or less a full team for Hibs, more or less, John. They've got Joe Newell, who's been out for a few weeks anyway. He's still out of this one. And O'Hara, John, he's out as well. He's a decent player, O'Hara. He's actually a doubt, but he's sort of 70-30 for this one. So O'Hara has got a great chance of missing this one, actually, O'Hara. So 2 out for Hibs, John. So 3 out for Celtic, 2 out for Hibs. So more or less full squads for both teams there, John.
Aye, so that's good for Celtic. I mean, Bernardo's obviously, we miss him. I think we really miss him in the centre of the park. Bringing him on as a sub always helps us, I think. So I think we have been missing him. Jamesy Forrest, long term, of course. So, but look, Yang's started to step up to the mark. He's taken that James Forrest role, and he's doing it really well. You know, he's coming on as a substitute, and he's contributing to the game massively, Xander. So right now, Jamesy Forrest, not a great loss, but we do miss him because he can play on the left as well. But what a contribution that Yang's putting in right now.
Yeah, and long may it continue. He's a decent young player. He's always had that ability, as you said last week, John. He's always had that ability, but he's now beginning to shine at Celtic. You know, that game, you've got to look at that game against St Mirren. We were struggling there. It's a tricky surface. It's a cold, miserable February night. And that boy came on and just turned the whole situation around. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he starts against Hibs. But as I say, we'll get into the lineups in a minute. But what I'll do is I'll give my prediction for the Hibs lineup first, John, and then we'll get your prediction for the Celtic lineup. So, my prediction for the Hibs lineups is Smith in goals. Then it's Miller, Karanga, Iredale, Chris Cadden, Triantis, Welsh, Cadden, Campbell, Boyle, and Bowie. That's my predicted 11 for the Hibs coming to Celtic Park, John. So no surprises there, I suppose. That's the team that's got them that unbeaten run. And we just really do hope that ends on Saturday, and I think it will.
I think so. We don't know yet.
But that's their lineup anyway, John. That's who I think is going to start for Hibs on Sunday. What I need off you, John, if you don't mind, is a predicted starting 11 for Celtic. What are you thinking, John? Are you thinking there's going to be some changes? Maybe give Ralston a run out, possibly. I'm not too sure if Ralston's going to play this one. I don't know, John. Is he going to start with Jota this time? Jota's not started the last couple of games, has he? He's came off the bench. What are you thinking, John?
I don't think he's going to start with Ralston. It's too important a game. It's a very important game. The league's already wrapped up more or less, you know. So Brendan wants a treble, and he wants to make sure that's sealed. So there's not going to be any fringe players starting this one. It's going to be Casper, Carter Vickers, Liam Scales, Alistair Johnston, Jeffrey Schlupp, centre of the park, Hatate, McGregor, and what's his name, Engels? That's not his name. What's his name is not his name.
Engels.
What's his name, Engels? Up front, this is the dilemma, isn't it? Kuhn hasn't been on bad form. He's just no scored a goal.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to start with Kuhn, Maeda through the middle, and Jota on the left.
Right. No place for Big Adam Maeda starting this one for you then, John. He's not really on form just now, but you know he can't find his form if he's not playing as well. That's two ways of looking at it. but I think he's going to. I'm the same as you, John. It's got to be Dyson through the middle for me, and it's got to be Dyson through the middle up until we get this treble over the line, to be honest with you. Because I was looking at the rest of the fixtures, John. We have got the hardest game here against Hibs at Celtic Park, albeit it's a bonus having them at home. But apart from Hearts, the teams that are left, with no disrespect to them, but the teams that are left, John, you've got Dundee, Queen's Park, Aberdeen, who else is Livingston and St Johnstone there. So, John, Hibs is definitely the hardest fixture we could have asked for, let's be honest.
It's the form team right now. Hibs are the form team in Scotland right now.
Yeah.
So as the toughest team, without a doubt, it's the toughest team we could have asked for. But we've got to deal with it. We've been handed Hibs. It's at Celtic Park, so there really should not be a problem. Celtic players will be right up for this.
Of course they will, John. It's very talented squad we've got there, and they're hungry as well, John. The players are hungry just now, so you can see it when they enter the field. Doesn't matter how many the opposite team score against us, John, which is a wee bit of concern for me because we don't want to be conceding any goals in any game, but we just got up the park and score more than them, and that's it's a bit like the Ange Postecoglou style of play, isn't it? You might score 2, but we'll score 4. That sort of attitude. The players have the same sort of attitudes, and it's a good thing to have, But I think we said in the preview, John. The last podcast, Brendan has to get the defence onto the field and get it tightened up a wee bit.
Defence definitely needs tightened up, and big Liam Scales is a worry because he's not played that much, so he could be a bit rusty, and he's dealing with people like players like Martin Boyle. Mm-hmm. It can be a concern, but Boyle, I think Boyle's is he a right winger, Martin Boyle?
Yeah.
Plays on the,
yeah.
So he's going to be up against Jeffrey Schlupp, who's got loads of pace anyway. So he's going to have a tough afternoon up against Jeffrey.
Yeah.
But if he gets past Schlupp and he's heading towards Liam Scales, who also plays on that side of centre defence, it's going to be a problem for big Liam because he's not played much.
No, he's not. Jeffrey, is it? Jeffrey?
Yeah, what's going on?
What was that?
You remember Rainbow? Rainbow with Bongo and Jeffrey? You remember that, John?
Yeah, what's going on?
Aye, I remember it. Aye, Jeffrey. Aye, that was a poor impersonation, but...
Right, okay. I'm not giving you any more impersonations then. Right, let's move on.
Who was it meant to be? Zippy?
Zippy, aye.
Zippy.
Yeah, what's going on?
Who we are stutter?
Right, okay. Let's move on rapidly, John. That was good. I enjoyed that. Right, okay. Score prediction then, John. This is for a Metal Legends wall plaque, John. Your score prediction. I think I got one right last week as well, didn't I? Was it Hibs and Hearts? I got right 2-1 to Hibs. I did check up on it, John. I think I got one right. I think it was only one we got right between the two is all the games. So I'm going to run through the fixtures in a wee minute for a predictor, John. But a wee prediction for this one, John. Celtic Hibs Scottish Cup quarter final. What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm thinking you can't just go saying you got the Hibs Hearts game right without actually knowing. You can't just go claiming a point when you haven't got one. But we'll check that up.
No, I'll check it. I'll check that out. I'm sure I said 2-1. I need to go back a couple of podcasts, mind you, which is something I've never done. But yeah, I'm sure that's the case, John.
Well,
but
10-6 anyway. If you have got one right, it's 10-6.
Yeah, okay. If anybody's wondering what we're talking about, John and I have got a wee competition going between us for the correct scores throughout the season. John's got 10, I've got 5/6, so I'm going to check that out. Right, John, what are you thinking then? It's this. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals in this one, as in Celtic scoring 5 or 6. I mean, but there will be goals in it. So I'll tell you my prediction in a wee minute. But what are you thinking?
Well, I'm basing this on Celtic coming out the traps early and scoring first. If Celtic score first in this game, it could be anything Celtic want it to be. It could be 4, it could be 5, 6. If Celtic score first, but they've really got to score first for that to happen. They'll have a wee bit of revenge in their minds as well after what happened at Easter Road. The goal chopped half. Hibs fans think it was at the park when it wasn't at the park. Celtic could have went on to win that game. We don't know. We don't know if Celtic would have went on to win it, but they could have. So based on Celtic scoring first, if we do score first, it could be 3-4-5-0. But I'm going to go... Oh, tricky one. Tricky. Hibs, the on-form team, they're the brilliant team. I'm going to say 3-1 Celtic.
3-1 I was thinking as well, John, but I'm going to go the sort of a safer... I mean, it's a Scottish Cup game, John, so Hibs, even if they're losing, they need to eventually go for it in the end, didn't they? And they've got goals in their team, John, so 3-1 is a good prediction for me. And I hope it is 3-1. Don't get me wrong, I'd be happy over the moon with a 3-1 win for Celtic. But I'm going to say 2-0 for Celtic, John. A 2-0 win. Comfortable enough win for Celtic. A wee bit of revenge as well. It doesn't matter, John, but the prediction is, it really doesn't. As long as we're in that semi-final draw on Monday night, John, that is the main thing, isn't it? All right, good luck to the boys. Good luck to the champions. If we get there, that would be amazing. It'll be another date at Hampden, John, on the 19th or the 20th of April. That would be absolutely outstanding if we can do it. I'm getting excited just talking about it, John, because it's a game, as you say, 8 days is a long time to wait for a game, and I can't wait till it kicks off. All right then, John, let's quickly run through some games, other games that are going on through the weekend. We'll get your prediction off of you. Scottish Cup, Friday night, John. Friday night, Hearts against Dundee. That's, the next tough team that's in it. All the teams are tough, obviously, because they've all got to the quarterfinals, but your usual ones that stick out. Hearts, John, should be favourites there against Dundee. But what you thinking, buddy, for a score prediction?
2-1 Hearts.
I think it's Hearts for me as well, John. 2-1. I don't know. Dundee bottom of the league. They've got other things in their mind, didn't they? Really try to stay up. Second bottom, isn't they? Second bottom of the league. So, do you know what? I'm going to go against the grain here, John. I'm going to say 2-1 Dundee. I'm going to give Dundee the win. I think they've got a good manager there, haven't they? Big Docherty, isn't it? Old Firm Docherty, the man that likes to call it the Old Firm. He's in charge there, and he does have the in battle, and I'll say 2-1 for Dundee, for the Dens to go through to the semi-final, which would be an amazing achievement for them. The next one then, John, Livingston against St Johnstone. John, what are you thinking there? Livingston against St Johnstone on Monday night.
1-0 St Johnstone.
Livingston win, John. I'm going to say 1-0 to Livingston. So Aberdeen Queen's Park then, John. That'll be a tasty one as well. Queen's Park after beating Rangers at Ibrox, something Fenerbahce couldn't do at home. So Queen's Park away, John, at Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Queen's Park. What do you think, my man?
It's a tough one to call, but I'm going to go for Aberdeen 2, Queen's Park 1. Aberdeen after extra time.
The extra time. Oh. It's Aberdeen for me, John. 2-0 to Aberdeen. Okay, that's that wrapped up as well. Right, okay, let's move on to some more action over the weekend, John. Ayr against Morton. Ayr United flying again. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. He's doing really well, Scott Brown, isn't he? But it's back to league business for Brunei. Ayr against Morton, Saturday at 3 o'clock, John. What are you thinking?
Ayr against Morton. Morton's a half-decent team, mind you. They're capable of pulling off a short result, but I'm going to say a Brunei win here, 3-0. Ayr United.
Aye, comfortable for me as well, John. 3-1 to Brunei's Ayr United. And the only other really one that sticks out that we can maybe have a wee chat about, John, is the B team again, who have won their last 3 or 4 in a row. But they're away to Berwick this time, John. Berwick against Celtic B, 3 o'clock on Saturday. That wee boy Cummings, John, who scored the hat trick the other day. He'll be looking for more goals, obviously. Unless they take him out the B team, John, and have him on the bench at Celtic Park. So that might be a possibility for Cummings, John. But what are you thinking, John? Celtic B against Berwick away from home?
Berwick, the only English team that play in Scotland.
Yes.
I just don't get that, but they're always welcome, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to go for a Celtic B team win again. I'm going to go for 4-2, just right off the top of my head, 4-2 Celtic B.
Yeah. 3-0 win for me for the Celtic B, just because they're playing so well just now. Just having a wee quick look at the Championship League table, John. Ayr are actually in second. It's not Livingston. So Ayr are second. Livingston have played one game more, but Ayr and Falkirk are both on 27 games played, and Ayr United are only 3 points behind Falkirk. So he's really turned that around there, Scott Brown, hasn't he, John? He's done a brilliant job at Ayr United.
Aye. I'm glad he never changed his mind and just abandoned the ship and went to a Scottish Premier League team, because he had the chance. He turned that down, and he's finishing his job at Ayr United. I think he's going to take them into the Premier League. I've just got a feeling.
Yeah, it's looking like it. You know, I don't know if Ayr United are still to play Falkirk again. I'm not too sure. But if they are to play each other, John, that would be some fixture. That would be one that we'd all keep our eye on, because can you imagine Ayr United at home against Falkirk, you know, to go top of the league? What a fixture that would be.
Aye, good fixture, aye. Falkirk are a good team. I've seen Falkirk in action this season. I think they're a very good team. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually won the championship with a couple of games to spare. And Bruni's obviously the challenger. He's the one fighting them. But I think Bruni had says it months ago that he'll be up there in the playoff spots, and I still think that's where it's going to stand with Bruni. I think he's going to get Falkirk into a playoff spot and win these games and get Ayr United into the Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him. It's looking good. It really is. There was a lot of comments in the last podcast, weren't there? People mentioning, you know, Adam Ida's forum, people mentioning Jeffrey Schlipp's forum. You know, a lot of people very happy with Jeffrey Schlipp, a lot of people wanting Adam Ida to pick up his forum. What the commenter saying this time, John?
Anyway, we would never sell our club says, even at home against Hibs in the Cup, it will be a tough game for Celtic, and the winner of this game will go on and lift the Scottish Cup in May.
You know, that's what I was saying a minute ago, wasn't it, John? But, you know, Hibs are the strongest team left in it, apart from Celtic. You know, then you've got Hearts and Aberdeen, who really do, you know, have struggled in the league all season. Both their teams up and down sort of form there for Aberdeen and Hearts. Sorry. I think I said Hibs. Both Aberdeen and Hearts, John, sort of struggling up and down. The Hibs are the team there with all the forms. So I think, you know, it's sort of an easy prediction to make. You know, the winner of this one will go on and win the cup. You know, Hibs have just beaten Hearts. They've also beaten Aberdeen, you know. So, yeah, I think he's got a great point there, actually. The winner of this tie, I think, will definitely go on and win the Scottish Cup.
You would certainly think so. They're two form teams. And like she says, it's the winner of this one will go on to lift the Scottish Cup. I totally agree with that. I don't think there's anybody strong enough to stop Celtic or Hibs, for that matter.
No.
So I totally agree.
Yeah, and you know, next round, semi-final, depends on your luck of the draw. You know, Aberdeen could get Hearts in the semi-final, you know, if they get through, obviously. And then Celtic or Hibs could get a first division team, John. So that's, you know, it just all depends on the draw as well, I suppose. But, you know, we can't take any team for granted, I suppose, especially Hibs, who we've got up next. And if we get through that, we're definitely not taking anybody like Hearts or Aberdeen for granted either, John. We would never do anything like that.
No, never. I'll never do that. But if we do get past Hibs, you've got Aberdeen, possibly Hearts, blah, blah, blah. Queen's Park, you don't know what's going to happen up at Pittodrie right enough, you know. Yeah. Imagine Celtic against Queen's Park at Hampden, Queen's Park's home ground.
Yeah, that's a story in itself, actually, John, isn't it? Queen's Park Queen's Park, you know, they would deserve to get to the final because the teams they put out, especially Rangers at Ibrox. That was just an unbelievable result for Queen's Park. But as you say, Queen's Park at their old ground, I know they play at Lesser Hampden now, but you know, can you imagine Celtic against Queen's Park at Hampden in the final? You know, that would be quite a good one, John. Quite a tasty one. And a decent team, Queen's Park as well. So it's very possible that could happen.
Of course it is. Well, we'll need to wait and see what happens at Aberdeen, because that's got a good game written all over it, that one. I think Queen's Park, they're in with a chance there. They're going to have belief. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But
yeah,
I would love that. Celtic against Queen's Park in the final at Hampden in the sun.
Yeah.
Great occasion for Queen's Park that as well, you know.
Yeah, that would be. The fact that they've got to the quarter final in itself, John, is a great occasion for them. It's just a pity that it's away from home up at Pittodrie. If it was played at home, that would maybe have given them a slightly better chance. But I think, I think Aberdeen should be too strong for Queen's Park. But you never know. You never know, John.
You never know. Anyway, thanks for that. We would never sell a club. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks. Good comment, actually. Thank you.
Next up was Martin Nicol, who says, I love this pod from Hector Pickle.
Yeah, Martin's actually took on his nickname from us, so he's actually took that on. So well done, Martin. Hector Nicol, yeah. Yeah, he loves the pod. Thank you very much, Martin. It's good to have you back, pal, because we've not heard you in a few weeks. Nothing about the football there, John, from Martin?
No yet, but he's got another couple of comments. I'll just always remember my mate saying that in the chippy. And that's where I got it from, Martin. He was always saying that when he went into the chippy. He was always saying something like, I'll have a fish supper and 2 Hector Nichols and a bottle of How's Your Father and all that stuff. So that was he talking about.
Well, Martin's got it. He's took it on and he's no forgot it. So well done, Martin. We'll get you a football comment in a minute, buddy.
A bottle of How's Your Father? That's Iron Brew, by the way.
All right.
It's 2 Hector Nichols and a bag of chips.
Yeah, well. I think he's running to the shop nowadays and asked for a bottle of How's Your Father. You get took away, I think.
The big man was funny, man. He had nicknames for everything, but that's just ones I can remember. But hilarious guy. Anyway,
yeah.
Martin thinks Kuhn is faster than Yang.
I don't know, John. I suppose there'll be a stat out there somewhere that tells you the speed over such a distance for both the players. Couldn't tell you. For me, it's Kuhn. Because Kuhn, he's just a wee whippet, isn't he? Young Kuhn, he's down that line, 100 mile an hour. Yang, I'm not too sure about Yang's pace. I don't know, John. I really couldn't tell you. But for me, just going by the naked eye, Yang looks fast. Kuhn, looks faster than Yang.
To me, I think Kuhn does look a wee bit faster, but sometimes you look at Yang and you can see he's got blistering pace. The speed he gets into the box for the headers, the other game there against, who was it we played the last time? St Mirren, was it?
Yeah.
The speed that he gets into the box and that, he's got lightning pace as well, Yang, but is he faster than Kuhn? I'm not really too sure. Yep. I'd need to see a 100-metre sprint to confirm it.
Yeah, that's it. You get them training on the track, and that's the only way you're going to find out. As I say, there'll probably some stats somewhere. But no, going by the naked eye, it looks like Kuhn for me. He looks quite sharp, quite fast. Also, Yang's fast as well, but just going by what I see Kuhn being the faster player there. I know that it matters. Both of them have bags of ability.
Aye, hold my drink. Here comes my Ada.
Aye, Dyson. Dyson's a different planet for the rest of every other player on the park, John, when it comes to pace. He's unmatched in the whole SPL, to be honest with you. The whole Scottish SPFL, John, to be honest with you, I think he's the fastest player in the full SPFL. I think that goes without saying, actually, doesn't it?
It definitely does. He's the best player in Scotland. Without doubt, Dyson Maeda is the best player in Scotland. And if Celtic don't get upwards of 35 million for him, if they do sell him, I hope they don't, I'm always saying keep the player, not the money. And if Celtic ever did sell him, he's upwards of £35 million. You're talking between 35, 45 million for a player like that. Even the Bayern Munich players were lauding him how good he was. He's the best player in Scotland I've seen for many years under.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have Dyson. I mean, I don't know how much we paid for Dyson Maida. Was it 3 million, something like that? We paid for Dyson. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but it was buttons compared to what he's worth, John. Let's put it that way.
I don't remember either, but he's just an exceptional talent, Dyson Maida, and we're very happy to have him. Anyway, Martin, thanks for your comment. Hector Pickle.
Thanks, Hector. Cheers, pal. Keep the comments coming in, Hector. Cheers, buddy.
It's always good to hear from Hector. A good guy. We'll just call him Hector for now on. But he knows what we're talking about. Martin Nicol, Hector Pickle. Quality stuff, Martin.
Cheers for the comment, Martin. Appreciate that, pal. Thanks very much.
He loves the podcast as well, and we see Martin here a lot, and it's always good to have you here, Martin.
Yeah, keep the comments coming in, Martin, because we'll always try and read as many of your comments out as possible, and that's the same for everybody else. Get your comments in, folks, because we will try and read out as many. I know it's not always possible, but we will try and read out as many comments as possible.
Exactly. And every time I read one of Martin's comments out, it puts me in the mood for a sausage supper.
Right, okay. I'm just looking at the cost of Hingway, John.
Dyson,
yeah. I'm just having a wee look. Let's have a wee look at it. I know it wasn't much. Dyson Maida. Just scroll down. It's there. Now, is that right? Is that I don't know if that's right. Is that Dyson they're talking about? 1.5 million. Does that all we paid for Dyson Maida?
That sounds about right. Aye. That sounds about right.
That is unbelievable, John. If that's the case, that's unbelievable. Dyson Maida for 1.5 million. That's 1.5 million euro, John.
That sounds about right. I mean, the most expensive Japanese player from Ange's era was Kyogo. I'm sure he was about 4 million or something like that. But I knew Dyson was cheaper and so was Hitati. I knew that. That's
unreal. For us to get a player like Dyson Maida for that, buttons really, let's be honest, when it comes to modern day transfer fees, John, that is a drop in the ocean. It really is. 1.53 million euro from Yokohama F. Marinos to Celtic. Unbelievable.
He's unbelievable, Dyson. Every Celtic fan loves him. I'm sure there'll be one wee snidey guy. I don't like him somewhere, but he'll be. It's a wee guys that just like to troll everybody. But he's outstanding. He's absolute class. I just hope he never leaves. Anyway, moving on from Martin, we get on to Roseanne. Roseanne says, another wee belly churner on Saturday with Hibs, but I'm still confident our boys are flying just now. And I feel they're really going to be up for this one. What a great weekend we've just had. Another one of those, please, boys. And Roseanne thinks 3-0 for Celtic.
Yeah, let's hope it's not a belly churner, because I don't know if I can put up with any more of the belly churners. It's a nice, you said earlier, John, a nice wee early goal to get a 3 or a 4. That would be perfect. But it doesn't always work out that way, especially with a team that's on form. But we've just got plenty of talent in that squad, John. So we're home for an early goal and a comfortable afternoon. I'd take that all day long. But as Roseanne says, there's a chance that it's going to be a belly churner. Hibs might even take the lead, John. We just don't know what's going to happen in this one. We're only hitting it with predictions just now. But we'll soon find out, John, because it's kick-off's not too long. And we'll soon find out. So, Roseanne, I hope you're wrong. We hope it's no a belly churner, pal, and we can all have a nice, relaxing Sunday afternoon.
If Hibs do score first, it's going to be a tough afternoon for Celtic. Make no mistake. Mm-hmm. That'll give them a huge lift. So Celtic have got to come out the traps fast in this one, really fast. And they've done it a lot of times this season. Celtic come out and scoring the quick goals and going on and dominating games. And if that happens again at the Celtic, that will happen. If Celtic scores first, they will dominate the game and they'll bang a few past Hibs. It's as simple as that. But as a belly churner, on paper, I mean. But thanks for that, Roseanne. I'm looking forward to it, Roseanne. Just like every Celtic game. Nothing really churns my belly more than the Champions League games away from home.
Yeah, they're the toughest. And what a close call it was for getting a famous result in Germany, John. A couple of minutes of injury time gone and we conceded that goal, but it was still a great result, wasn't it? So that was sort of a belly churning for a different reason, John. That was so close to a famous win against Bayern Munich, in the Allianz Arena, John. So yeah, belly churners all round, John. And then we've got another belly churner next weekend against the Rangers at Celtic Park, John. But no, massive game to come before that, John, before we even contemplate thinking about that one.
No, we'll look at that when we get closer to it, Xander. There's no point even thinking about that right now. I've got to look after Hibs. That's the most important game of the season right now. And I'm sure after Hibs, the Rangers game will be the most important game of the season.
Yeah, that's it, John. Some people would call it a dead rubber. So it's not a dead rubber, sorry, John, when it's not mathematically over. That's the way I look at these things. But a lot of people would say 16 points clear, handful of games to go, it's a dead rubber. But no, we've got to turn up there and do a professional job. But as you say, John, we don't want to go into it just now. We've got plenty of time to do podcasts coming up to the Glasgow Derby, John. So we'll stick with the Hibs for now.
Aye, well, that's it. That's all I'm looking at right now. I'm not even thinking about the Derby game, but we'll get there when we get there. Thanks for your comment, Roseanne. Always amazing to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks, Roseanne. Keep the comments coming in, pal. Another great comment there. Thanks very much.
Moving on to Hugh Trodden. I've never seen Hugh here before. So Hugh Trodden says, "Hi, boys. I laughed the other day about Alistair Johnson and Fulham and Ipswich. The last time any of them were in Europe, there was a war on." He says he'll hail from Johannesburg. Thanks for that, Hugh.
Was that the last time they were in Europe, Ipswich, Fulham? Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't think players like Alistair Johnston, etc., John, should go anywhere near teams like Ipswich and Fulham. They're too good. They're far, far too good to go to teams like. I know that's where all the money is down south, John, right? But Alistair Johnston, if he was to leave Celtic, he should be looking at teams like Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, possibly, Everton. Teams like that, John. No Fulham and Leeds United, teams like that, John. He's too good for that.
Aye, well, Leeds United, they're not even in the Premiership. But Ipswich Town and Fulham. And if Hugh's calculations are right, the last time any of them were in Europe was, he says, was during the war. When there was a war on. I don't know what war he's talking about. Maybe the Second World War or something like that. I really don't know.
We could ask Uncle Albert. He knows all about things that happened during the war. But no, I think he's right, John. I think Hugh is bang on. I don't think any of our players should be looking at teams like Fulham, teams like that, Ipswich Town. Although, their heads could be turned as regards to wages. That's always a possibility. But when it comes to football and, winning trophies and, getting your name out there, stick with Celtic, because you'll go places with Celtic Football Club.
Best place you could ever be as a player. There's no exception. You're playing in Europe, you're winning trophies, you've got 60,000 mental fans screaming you on every week. Where else would you want to be?
That's it, John. That's it. It's the only other thing is the reason why most players leave Glasgow Celtic, John, is for money. So, Alistair Johnston and the likes, they're no different, John. Their heads could be turned if they're going to quadruple their wages. Anybody else would be the same. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Aye, it's a career, isn't it? It's a short career. These boys want to make as much money as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But they could also go into the pallet business after they retire. So there's always something.
Yeah, the pallets. Where are they now? Hey, we need to bring that back, John, actually. Because we don't need to just do it with Celtic players. We can do it with any player that's retired. It was who was that? Wayne Biggins, the pallet man, and Chris Morris was the Cornish pastry.
Pies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good times.
Cornish pasties and pies. Brilliant. So if Alistair Johnston and the likes are thinking about quadrupling their wages because there's no career after they finish playing the game, think about a wee career in the pallet game or the pie game.
Pie game. Aye, okay, John. I'm going to bring that back because you're always guaranteed a laugh for that, wouldn't you? The where are they now? Yeah, I'm going to bring it back, folks. I'm actually going to bring that back on the post-match for the Hibs. Hopefully we're on a good mood to listen to that. But I'm going to bring back where are they now? There you go, Hugh. That's it. Your comment is brought back the where are you now section.
Aye, well done. Hope you're enjoying your time in Joburg. Say hello to Victor's son when you're there.
Yeah, Joburg. Yeah, he's from Joburg, isn't he? Yeah, it's good to hear for you, Hugh. Keep the comments coming in, pal.
Aye, thanks for that, Hugh. That was interesting. James Doran was up next there. James, big regular, Jamesy boy. What a player Yang is turning out to be. Just like Duracell boy and Schlupp, who were all outstanding in the 5-2 victory over St Mirren. And Rodgers is really cracking the whip now.
Yeah, but half an hour ago, we did say that this is the time of the year when we normally step forward. March, approaching April, business end of the season. The weather changes, the clocks go forward, the weather gets better, sunshine is out, John. That's when Celtic normally step up. I know we've stepped up all season. I understand that. We're well clear in the league, trophies, blah, 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 John. But what I'm saying is this is normally when you see the best of Celtic Football Club, when the parks are in better condition. Celtic, they just come out and they play some outstanding football, as we have done all season, but you see the best of Celtic round about, mid-March going on to the end of the season. So, yeah, good comment there. And I think he's, as you're right, Brendan will be cracking the whip, John, and try to get this treble over the line.
It's all about the treble right now. It's all about securing this place in the semi-finals. It's the most important game of the season, like I said earlier. And Duracell boy and Schlupp were outstanding in the 5-2 victory. I agree with that, James. I think especially Dyson Maida and Schlupp, I think they two were outstanding. Then they bring on Yang and Jota, both of them outstanding as well. The substitutes totally turned that game around, I think, because St Mirren were very good up until that point, and the substitutes came on. But Dyson Maida and Jeffrey Schlupp, I really want to see Schlupp get this contract tied up. I know he's probably not been offered a contract yet, but I would love to see it, Sander. I really, really would take my hat off to Celtic if they get that over the line.
I think they will, John. I think there was murmurs a few days ago about it. Obviously, it all went quiet, but Celtic don't need to do anything until his loan spell expires, John, and then we can look at signing this boy. But I think it will happen. There's too many people want it to happen. The Celtic fans love Jeffrey Schlupp, John, so I think it will happen, to be honest with you. And then, the rest of the boys, Yang, etc., John, were just brilliant against St Mirren, and what a performance to put in. Now, if we can start the game against Hibs the way we finished against St Mirren, there'll be no problem. We'll be absolutely fine. We'll be into the semi-final. But it's easier to say that, John, than actually do it, I suppose.
It's all right for us sitting here just saying we can do this and that, but Celtic's up against a form team. They've got to come flying out the traps. They'll be full of belief that they can beat anybody at Celtic Park. That's just the way Celtic are. They'll be full of belief. They've had 7 days rest. They'll be ready to go. Unlike previous games, Celtic were just off the back of a totally deflating draw against Bayern Munich. That deflated the players. So you can understand why they lost that game at Easter Road. It's a hard place to go at the best of times, but on the back of a defeat against Bayern Munich, very tough. But this will be a different story.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah. But one we're all looking forward to, John. And we'll leave it there, if you don't mind, buddy. Thanks for reading the comments out. Thanks to all the commenters. Thanks to everybody that got involved with the podcast. We appreciate that. Remember to enter the competition, folks. Correct score, Celtic against Hibs. One guess each into the comments to win a Legends metal wall plaque. Good luck with that, everybody. John, we'll catch you on the post-match, buddy.
Catch you later, Sander. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, buddy. And thanks for coming on, John. Remember, hit that subscribe button, folks, as well. That would be appreciated. And we'll catch you all on the post-match. Okay, hail, hail for now, folks. And we'll catch you all later.